During 2011, one of the big issues that we'll face is the preservation of marriage as being between a man and a woman. Now, we know that marriage is between a man and a woman. In fact, the definition of the word marriage incorporates the Latin meanings of the word husband and wife, with maritas meaning husband and mariata meaning wife. However, all around the world, this definition is under threat, with a number of countries already legislating to allow homosexuals to marry and to extend that definition of marriage to include them. And here in Australia, homosexual lobby groups, along with the Greens, are asking the Parliament to change the law to allow homosexuals to marry. In 2004, the Australian Parliament voted on a bipartisan basis to insert into the Marriage Act a clause that says that marriage is between a man and a woman. In fact, it adds the words that it's voluntarily entered into and it's for life. This is a traditional definition of marriage that's been included in the marriage ceremony. And of course, it comes from the biblical principle that a man will leave his mother and father and be joined to his wife. And so that's the basis in Genesis of where we get our understanding of real marriage from. The Greens have put a bill into the Federal Senate that calls on the Marriage Act to be changed to allow two people of the same sex to marry. And that would totally destroy our understanding of what marriage really is. Late last year, Greens MP Adam Bandt in the lower house also put up a motion that means in effect that parliamentarians are being asked to consult their constituents to see what their views are as to whether they should support same-sex marriage or homosexual marriage or not. That means that the homosexual lobby is very active out there at the moment, getting all of their people to contact their MPs to ask them to support same-sex marriage. That's why it's vital that Christians are also active, telling their politicians what they think, that they want marriage to be retained as being between a man and a woman. They don't want it extended to include homosexual marriage. That's the key thing we need to communicate to our MPs. Senator Guy Barnett has just launched a petition, and he's asking everybody to sign the petition, to fill it in and to post it back to him to let him know so that he can share it with the Parliament how many people are opposed to the idea of homosexual marriage. The petition reads in part, he says marriage is currently defined in the Marriage Act as the union of a man and a woman to the exclusion of all others, voluntarily entered into for life. He says that marriage is one of the great institutions on which our society is built, that marriage provides for a stable family and is the umbrella under which children are nurtured and grow, and that marriage is worthy of protection and support. And we, the undersigned petitioners, call on the Senate to support the definition of marriage as is currently contained within the Marriage Act. Once you've collected the signatures of your friends and people from your church, you can send the petition sheets to Senator Barnett at 33 George Street, Launceston, Tasmania 7250. However, it's not enough just to sign a petition. Our politicians need to hear directly from us. They need visits in their offices, and they need to hear about our concerns and the fact that we want to see marriage preserved between a man and a woman, and we don't want it extended to include homosexuals. At a meeting recently, I said we've got 5 fingers, well 4 fingers and a thumb. And if we use this, we can actually remember who we've got to write to. We've got to write to our federal MP, our 12 senators, because they're the ones that are going to be debating the Greens bill in the coming weeks. We need to write to the Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, and ask her to maintain the Labor Party opposition to same-sex marriage. And we know that's under threat because some Labor members are already talking of their support for homosexual marriage. We need to write to Tony Abbott, Leader of the Opposition, and ask him to stay firm on opposing marriage for homosexuals. And we need to write to the Independents because they currently have the balance of power in the House of Representatives. That's Rob Oakeshott, Tony Windsor and Bob Katter. And in the Senate, the Independent Senator, Senator Xenophon, also needs to hear from you about your concerns on this issue. So make sure that you contact your MPs. Take some friends, take your pastor, but make sure that they hear your voice in this debate.